So I got an email from a viewer named Colin. Colin watched the How to Become Zuck video and decided that this was the career for him. But he had lingering doubts that he would fail. Colin went on to buy a book on Java and was determined to lock himself in his room for the summer and focus on building his first Android app. Still, the fear lingered that he would fail and this would all be for nothing. By the end of the summer, what did he have to show for it? A level 72 paladin on World of Warcraft.
This episode of XDA Developer TV is brought to you by Sony Mobile and the new Sony Xperia Tablet Z, now on sale at store.sony.com/tablet. Be sure to check out Sony Mobile's YouTube channel at youtube.com/Sony Xperia Dev.
Developer World.
Welcome XDA crowd, my name is Jayce, and today, as per your request, we tackle what every new aspiring developer wants to know. How do I create something that's awesome and that I can be proud of? And not be the kind of wannabe that talks a good game, but doesn't have much to show for it in the real world.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
The first thing you need to do is read a book called The Dip by author Seth Godin. Jayce, this book has nothing to do with programming. It has everything to do with everything. It's one of those books that when you're ready, can change your professional life. The basic premise of the book is as follows. When you first begin to learn something new, it's exciting, it's fun, and you see nothing but possibilities. It's the honeymoon stage. Soon though, the novelty of learning something new wears off. It can become more difficult, complicated, and can even become downright brutal. This stage is called the dip. Now, if you're one of the few that can push through this stage, which can take months or even years, you earn the right to rise out of the dip. Things become smoother, more predictable, less stressful, and actually rewarding. This stage is the professional stage. The problem is, most people don't work through the dip. They quit, they stop. We've all been there. You'll remember that I once interviewed Chris Haseman, the lead Android developer for Tumblr, and without any prompting, he talked about this book, The Dip, what it meant to him, and how he worked through it.
The dip, yeah, it's happened to me a couple of times actually, and it happens every time I kind of change platforms. Right out of the first year out of school was probably the hardest for me, only because I was working with some serious professionals, and I was not a serious professional myself, and I had to learn on the job, what it means to write software. Going to school teaches you, what a for loop is and how to write recursive code, but it doesn't teach you how to work on a team, how to write effective emails, how to, explain to your non-technical boss what the heck went wrong yesterday. And those are all skills you have to pick up. So that first year was just vicious for me. Part of it, I think, is I think it's very important. One of the ways to sort of ease that dip is to find a mentor, someone who is not directly related to the things that you work on, but has a lot of experience and can help sort of talk you out of the abyss when you fall in. So, find someone that you know who works on something that you work on or something that you're interested in, and try to meet with them, once a month for lunch. Tell them about what's going on and ask for their advice, and I find. Since I've started doing that, that's tremendously helpful for me. The other dip came when I started writing the Android book. There was nothing on Google about how to write Android software. There were no experts. I had no idea what I was doing, and so it was an uphill battle every step of the way. And even when the book was finished, I still felt like I knew almost nothing about the platform. And to be quite honest, even from someone who's been doing it for as long as I have, there is always going to be an element of things that I don't know about, some things that will frustrate me, things that I can't comprehend. But that becomes exciting, that becomes interesting.
Allow me to summarize what I've learned from interviewing some of the best developers in the game. Number one, ask yourself the all-important question. Is this worth sacrificing for? Is it worth working through the dip? If some of you ask that question honestly of yourself, the answer might be no, it's not. You might like the idea of being a software engineer, but not the actual execution of it. You have to decide, is the actual day-to-day task of developing exciting for you? Is this something you enjoy? Kevin Key, who I interviewed on How to Become TV channel, said it's like Lego for the mind. It's fun, but it's exhausting. Ask yourself if it's what you really, really want. Number 2, match your resources with your learning style. So I know a lot of you say, I'll get a book on Java and by the end of the summer I'll create my own Android app. Well, for some people you can do that, but it's the hardest way to do it. It has the least amount of structure. It has the least amount of feedback. Your only feedback is from the book. You may need to go to a college or go to a hacker school where you're in a classroom setting and there's a lot more structure. I know that's what I need. Make sure you understand your learning style and acquire the resources that make a good match for that. Number 3 is related, but if you're not taking a course in university or college, it's imperative to have a mentor, someone you look up to, someone who's accomplished something that you are aspiring to, that can give you feedback. And it's not just technical feedback, it's encouragement. Super important. A big difference between people who have failed and succeeded are those who had a mentor that they respected. And number 4, and finally, know the dip is coming and prepare yourself for it. Know that it will end. If you can push through and work through that dip, the rewards are significant. So guys, I decided that every video I would make a recommendation that would help beginners from scratch. And today I wanted to start with Chris Haseman's book himself, Creating Android Applications, Design and Develop. He really does understand the importance of 2 wings of a bird, design and develop. They got to work harmoniously, and it's a really good introduction to creating Android applications. For those of you who really want a more structured course, there's a link here on Udemy. You can check it below. It's free, and it's for total beginners learning Java from scratch. And it's more structured, so you're going to get feedback from the professor there, and there's a lot more content. There's like over 100 hours, something crazy, and the reviews on that particular course are very good. Now, if you do check that out, please come and email me or tell me in the comments below what you thought of the course and the book. I really want to get some feedback from XDA directly on what you thought of those tools. You can email me at jayce@howtobecome.tv. I look forward to hearing from you. Like and subscribe. Please help us out. Thanks, guys.
This is your life, and it's ending 1